The South African Agribusiness Confidence Index rose to its highest level in 6 years in the fourth quarter of 2020. This follows a recovery to 51 points in the third quarter of the year. CGTN's Angela Coppola has more on this story from Johannesburg.
As South Africa emerges from the pandemic lockdown, the agricultural sector has emerged relatively unscathed, except for the wine, tobacco and hunting industries.
It's not surprising that the confidence index jumped with, I think it was 10 points, 10 percentage points. If we look at the conditions in agriculture at this stage, it's quite positive. We were in the fortunate situation that we weren't as much impacted during the lockdowns than some of the other industries.
There was favorable rainfall, expansion in area plantings, which resulted into a large harvest on the field crops and also horticultural side. And during that period, we also saw logistics working pretty much efficiently and able to drive exports to really higher levels, where in the third quarter of the year, actually South Africa saw record quarterly exports of 3.2 billion rands.
There's also optimism about the 2020 and 2021 season, due in part to the prospect of La Niña and its weather patterns, which will bring more rain.
And I think that, in combination with the good season that we come from, which has led to relative improvement on financing, is what underpins the optimism in South Africa's farming sector.
The country's unemployment figures are daunting. The agri-sector didn't escape the fallout. There are 50,000 fewer people employed in the latest season.
Even though there is optimism, it might as well be that it's optimism that will take us to the pre-pandemic levels, or even just nudge us to levels that are still below that.
The concern for next season is about the possibility of an increase in the basic minimum wage.
If the increase is too much, then farmers will definitely move away and use mechanization more and more. Although, in certain industries that's not always possible. But in the grain industry, for example, they will move toward mechanization. And in the long term, that is not good for employment in general.
The agricultural sector was one of the shining lights during 2020, and it looks set to continue into the next planting season, although there does remain a worrying concern around crime. I'm Angelo Coppola for CGTN in Johannesburg, South Africa.